Okay, so I've measured out a total of 200 grams of dry powder. So it's 100 grams of diatomaceous earth and 100 grams of metakaolin. This is actually a little deviation from the mix that I was showing before. I looked at it again. This mix is about 1 to 7 metakaolin to diatomaceous earth. So that's actually quite a bit more diatomaceous earth, and at least right now I don't want to experiment too much with that because that, I don't know how the diatomaceous earth will react. So I'm going to start with this. And then here I've got 122.5 grams of sodium silicate, sodium hydroxide solution. So essentially started with 91 grams of sodium silicate, water glass solution. That's just what I got from the ceramic supply store. 16.5 grams of sodium hydroxide and around 15 to 20 grams of water. So that's what this is here. So I'm going to mix those two together, and then I'll mix that into the wood chips, half and half. Hopefully this will be enough solution. We'll find out. So I'm going to start mixing these together. Definitely sodium silicate is much more viscous than potassium silicate. It's a very interesting material. So I got that, and I'll start by just mixing it together. And actually, you know what? This is the same thing I found when I started experimenting with the diatomaceous earth with the last mix. When you do it by weight, it's such a dry mix. You can see it's like, so you know what, I'm going to just go ahead and add quite a bit more sodium silicate to this because it's clearly doesn't have enough solution. I think I'm going to add another 150 grams. Man, this sodium silicate gets all over the place because it's viscous, almost like a syrup. Actually, I'm going to go all the way up to 176 grams more, 176.8. Mix that up in there. This should be more than enough. Now the other thing I can do here is add a bit more water just to improve the handleability of it. This is the thing I don't like so much about the sodium silicate, is that it just, I wonder if what's happening here is that it's reacting with the diatomaceous earth, and much more so than kind of expected. Let me get this sodium silicate off of my scale. I've noticed that the sodium silicate reacts with the glass of the scale. It's almost impossible to get off once it dries. Let me get a little bit more water. Where did I put that water? Oh, there's that bit of water. that little bit of water that I added, about 5 grams or so, makes it about that consistency. Okay, now I'm going to mix this first. And I'm not sure if I should mix this, if I should let the geopolymer mix kind of age a little bit and let the geopolymer reaction really take off. I am on a bit of a time crunch here, so I don't have a lot of time for that, but I think that I'm going to again, I just want you to see this, the viscosity here. And I feel okay adding that much water because in the recipes in this book, the amount of water is like from 15 to 35 grams. And I start on the low end because I don't want to overdo the water and I want to give myself some ability to adjust the water later. So I am okay with this. Now, this feels like it's almost starting to set up now. So what I'm going to do, start with the mineralized wood chips. And what I want to do actually is just, I don't want to put too much in here. And I have no idea what it's going to take to get this mixed to the point where it's still kind of dry, but has enough binder to stay bound. I'm going to end up using most of it for just this one. That's all right. So I'm applying for the consistency where it'll kind of hold together, but still be somewhat dry. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to use this whole mix. Alright, so you can see this is kind of the what the material looks like right now. It clumps up, it's staying together. I think that's good. So let's pack it into our mold here. And then we'll put the lid on it and let it sit up. And we'll make another batch. Yeah, too big. Hold on. Use this one. Just using a piece of scrap wood, kind of like if you were tamping in place hempcrete. Alright, so see, that's what it looks like now, and then I'll put the lid on it. Okay. Now let's get the second batch going here. Oh, that's right. There it is. And mix this again. So we will start with, I think this time I might start with the sodium silicate. Okay. So I started with 122.5 and I added, I think I said 178, something like that. So actually that's, I'll put it in here. So that'd be 300. We'll just call it 300. All right, so we have 300 grams of sodium silicate solution. And then I'm going to add to that $100 grams. Let me get it's always good to have some mixers on here. It sticks. Alright, so I'm going to have 100 grams of diatomaceous earth. add to that 100 grams of metakaolin. You can see it kind of this sort of tan color. There we go. Mix this up a bit. Don't do what I'm doing. Wear a dust mask when you are working with stuff. This stuff will cause silicosis, so I'm not being good. The first time I was, but now I'm kind of going fast here. So I'm starting with the 300 grams of the sodium silicate, and then I'll add some water as needed in here. As you can see, it's like the consistency of very thick cookie dough. Just a little bit of water, just make it flow better. Tell you, these tongue depressor popsicle stick things from Hobby Lobby are pretty thin, and as soon as you start getting them wet, they get pretty flexible. What's really interesting though is how the wood reacts to the water glass solution. So there's a few different stirring sticks I've used in mixing these things up, and a little tiny bit more water. I anticipate that these dry wood chips, not just dry, but non-mineralized wood chips, are going to absorb a lot more of the moisture out of this solution. When I weighed this amount, I filled both up to about the same level with the same light packing of the material. And when I weighed them, the mineralized by volume weighed 64.6 grams, and the unmineralized weighed 48.5 grams. So see, here's the consistency of this. This might be just a little bit thinner than the other stuff, but I probably should have measured the actual amount of water I added, so I know what the differences were. Alright, I'll move this out of the way here. This time we'll mix it with the unmineralized wood chips. And we're going to mix the whole thing again, since we know that it'll be pretty much the whole thing. It has the consistency of oatmeal cookie dough. You can see it. That's good. I think we got it. All right. Get into the mold. You see it, this is kind of, has a little bit more of a sponginess to it, whereas the mineralized wood chips, they seem to be, I don't know, less compressive, or maybe, I'm not sure what you would call it, but okay, so this is what this looks like now. I'm gonna cover this up and make sure I label it unmineralized and mineralized. Now what would actually be interesting, let me do this real quick here. I want to weigh these and see $676.1. $590.3. Well, that's interesting. Now let's see about the. It might be hard to get this off here. Let me. I wanted to open it back up and see if I can see a difference in the level. These lids are kind of tricky to get off, especially when you have. Oh well, you know what? I think that might account for it, because if you look at it, this one is, even though you can see that this one here is a little bit, there's a little more volume than the unmineralized one. But I'm just going to leave it. It is what it is. All right, so we will come back after a while and see how that goes. And I need to go clean up all that stuff there.